What's all the PMS with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G, your Chief PMS cheerleader, motivating and empowering you to win in your personal and professional life, your connector, guiding you and bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I am your leadership and growth coach strategist, empowerment speaker, author, mom, Christian wife, and I get to serve you in what I am passionate about. You, sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. Thank you so much for supporting this show, whether it's your first time listening, your 80th time, because we are in episode 80. Oh my goodness. Thank you for listening, sharing, following, commenting. All those great things carry so much weight. And let me remind you, there's also a way that you can support the show. And you know what? That's financially, consistently, as we show up with guests to empower other women on their personal and professional growth journey. And as we continue to go through that growth through education, inspiration, and elevation by positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. You know what? You go to the show description and touch the link, support the show. And that speaks volume. And you saying, I stand in support of blessing this podcast so we can keep growing through the conversations we have here in this space. Did you hear me say we are in episode 80? I am so excited. Okay, and so we are talking about radical transformation in your life and career. And I have a special powerhouse boss queen with us today. I am beaming with excitement to introduce you to Suzanne Castle, the Chief Sparkler. She is known for the sparkle factor, a movement to assist leaders to unlock and unleash their full potential from the big stage to the smallest of rooms. This one-time singer, actress, dancer has known and experienced great loss, and yet every day is committed to possibility thinking with her clients and through her keynotes and retreats. As a best-selling author, speaker, and creator, Suzanne Castle is unleashing a sense of can't stop me mojo, making magic from life to business for leaders who are tired of the overwhelm and stuck in unhelpful narratives. Suzanne loves bringing the extraordinary sparkle back into people's lives and helping them capture a vision full of joy and verve. And listen to that last word because you're going to hear a little bit more about that. So, welcome, Suzanne, for being here with me.
Wow, I tell you what, I need for you to follow me around and introduce me like that because that is truly outstanding. Coach G, part of your secret sauce is definitely that. Thank you for elevating me in such a fine fashion.
You know what? Because when you step in a room, I just feel elevated anyway. Okay, we're not gonna go back and forth compliment each other, but I really do feel that from my heart. Just so great that we have connected in so many ways. Of course, that could be a whole different podcast that we could talk about that. But
Yeah.
we're gonna stay straight and in the narrow of talking about transformation and what that means. So let's talk about this. So I want to talk about the metaphor of a butterfly life cycle, okay? From the egg to the caterpillar, in which once it reaches its full size, the caterpillar finds a place to anchor itself, which in this stage it molts one last time to reveal a chrysalis or pupa, It's inside the chrysalis where the most dramatic transformation takes place. But what if it stopped there? Let's think about that. What if it stopped there in what we call getting stuck? Imagine this is you feeling like you have maxed out in life or your career, thinking there is nothing left for you to do. Oh, I'm too old for this, or whatever, all those excuses that we give ourselves to stay stuck in your life or career. That's getting stuck. A truth that Suzanne speaks about stuck is never the furthest you can go. So I want you to talk to us about that, Suzanne, because that to me is a transformation in itself. So talk to us about that.
Thank you for that. I really think we really do a disservice to ourselves when we say, okay, I'm stuck. Because as soon as you say that, your brain misfires. Your brain's like, okay, well, then we don't have to work hard anymore. And our brains are lazy. Our brains just want to just like, let's just do what we've always done. Let's just be comfortable. Let's just watch something on our favorite TV show. Let's just go eat that tub of ice cream because things feel hard right now. Like our brain is lazy and it wants to default to that place. So instead, when you tell yourself, okay, I'm feeling stuck, but stuck is not the furthest that I can go. So, brain, I need for you to get to work. I need for you to serve me. I need for you to push me. I need for you to help me imagine what could be. It doesn't have to be based in reality. And I think that's where sometimes we really harm ourselves. And I mean that intentionally. We harm ourselves because we think it all has to make sense financially, physically, manifestly, if that's a word. And it has to make sense right now for us that we have to have everything ready to go in all the ways for us to do something when really our brains just need to help us imagine, help us do about possibility thinking in the world. And so when I have clients that really get to the, and they come to me all the time, they're like, I'm afraid, I'm stuck, this doesn't work, right? And how many of you have said that, right? I know your listeners, like you do a lot of this work, Coach G, a lot, and you help women think differently and motivate differently. And so one technique that I love that I do in my own life and I teach to my clients is magic wand, right? Now I love thinking about all the princess things and all the glittery things and all that. But when I think about a magic wand, and I wish I had mine sitting right here. So a magic wand and I wave it around, right? And I think, okay, if I've got my magic wand in my hand right now, the first thing I say is, okay, what is the issue at hand? What is the real issue at hand? Because I think when people are stuck, there's something else going on. So most of the time it's fear. Like, let's just be honest, right? We're afraid of the new thing. And so I try to think, what is the real issue at hand here? And then the next thing I say to myself is, okay, if that's true, whatever the thing is, what could be better than this? So I'm stuck, but what could be better than being stuck? Well, obviously moving forward, having enough money, having the right team around me, having a website where people are showing up every day, whatever it is, what could be better? Again, it doesn't have to be based in reality, but what could be, right? And then I wave that magic wand around like my hair's on fire, right? Everywhere I possibly can. And I say, okay, now if I could have anything that I wanted regarding this issue, what would it be? Anything at all. And then once I've told myself that's the thing, I tell my brain, okay, brain, Suzanne's brain, you got to get to work. I need that thing. So now I need for you to help me have that thing come to life. And suddenly, magically, and I will say 99.9% of the time, I find a way. So it may not be exactly like I thought, like a new color shows up in my backyard. That's not what I mean. But suddenly I get an opportunity to go speak, or I get an invitation to be on a podcast like this one, episode 80. How exciting. Or I meet someone who knows someone who knows someone, or a commercial comes on. It's amazing once you tell your brain what you needed to do that it does that thing.
Yeah. And what I hear you, because you said possibility thinking, I kind of want to key in on that because you're saying telling your brain, this is what I want to see, this is what I want to do, and those possibilities. And if you know what, we could miss it. And I think during
Yeah.
our transformation, sometimes if we're not paying attention to those things, we'll miss it and
Right.
actually get stuck because it's like, oh, it's not working. Because like you said, oh, I don't have $1 million. Wait a minute. But I just got this opportunity, which can
Yeah.
create that $1 million to come my way. So just being able to embrace the stage that we're in, moving into that next. So can you give us two creative solutions through that process of transforming, one's life to business? Can you give us two creative? Because we're talking about
Yeah.
creative in your
So my,
mind.
right. Well, my first one is actually it's creatively get moving, honestly. So when we're stuck, the first thing that we want to do is retreat. That is literally a biological response to feeling stuck and confused, right? Stuck, confused, afraid. We want to retreat. Like literally, our brains are wired to tell our body to do that thing. So you have to do completely opposite, which is, okay, I want to go put on my stretch pants, right? I want to go get on the sofa. I want to curl up, right? This is all normal. And you have to tell yourself, that might be normal, but I'm going to be amazingly abnormal. So get up, go outside. And what I think, if you're able to do that kind of thing, but get moving is really important. And my favorite way to do that is actually a miracle walk. So what this is you just go anywhere, could be in the mall, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be outside. And I tell myself, I'm going to see a miracle on this walk. And 100% of the time, Coach G, I see a miracle. So it could be a flower growing in a big pile of discarded concrete. But if I wasn't paying attention, which is what you just said, if I wasn't noting, paying attention, and telling myself what to focus on, I might miss that. Yeah. And when I see that, something happens inside my brain. It's like the creativity gets unlocked in that moment because I suddenly saw something that in my mind wasn't supposed to be, because it's a miracle, right? That's the first tip I would give. And then the second tip that I would give is you constantly need to be noting somewhere. I'm a big pen and paper girl because of what it does. It imprints differently on your brain than this way, right? So writing something down. So when you're writing something down rather than typing it digitally, right? It puts it somewhere else in your brain. And so if you're constantly keeping track of, okay, this went well, this didn't go so well, I'm feeling this, I wish I was feeling that, just in a general sense, you don't know what to change. And so sometimes when we're feeling stuck, we feel like it's working, it's horrible, things are wrong. When really it's, did I really email my list enough times for them to see this thing? Because we'll say that we did. Like that's a good example right there for business owners. We think we told people enough times, but honestly, they had to have seen the thing come through at just the right moment and then click and then read it through all the way and then click through to respond and then buy the thing. They have to do 6 things. You sent 1 email. Like you probably need to send 15 emails, right? And they all need to be a little different, all at different times. So when you're noting what you actually did, you know which action to change to create more action instead of, oh, it didn't work, so I'm not doing it anymore. Those are my 2 top tips.
Oh no, and those are 2 powerful, sparkly, like bright tips. No, I love it because you said, I'm sitting here thinking, that one idea, you do that one email, and I start thinking about even in phone calls for someone who, you're making that phone call, that salesperson, I don't know,
Right.
making the phone call. It's like, okay, make more than one. Sometimes we think, oh, I don't want to bother them. Oh, that's too much. No,
Right.
it's not. You want to connect with the person. You want to transform that in your
Right.
life, your business, and in someone else's life as well. And so actually seeing what you want to do. But the first one, when you said get moving, it's like, just take the step. I always said, take the first step.
Yep.
And I promise you, like stairs, if if it's like 12 flights of stairs, it's like, okay, you can't take one step and be at the 12th step, right? You have to
Right.
take a step at a time.
That's
So
right.
get moving. But as you move, really looking at where you were. Wait a minute, I took that first step. I'm not at the bottom. Hey, wait
Yep.
a minute. I'm at the second step now. I'm not. What did I just say? We're in episode 80.
Right.
I took the first step. I got moving. And when you talk about writing those notes, that's how we bring vision to life.
Yep.
That's how that transformation, we see it come to life. Even going back to that butterfly, it comes to life. It may look like it's stagnant. Sometimes we may feel like we're not moving, but you're doing something. You're taking emotion, you're moving into something, which brings me to the motion of verve. Okay. So let me tell you my personal experience from this.
I love this so much, G.
I I went to Verve last year. For those that are listening, you're like, okay, what do you talk about? What does this have to do with anything? Oh, it has a lot to do with it because it helped transform my thought to a different level. I'm always about growth, thinking positively and all that. But went to Verve last year and I have to say it transformed my life and my business because one statement I remember walking away with was, I will not play small because I was allowing myself to shrink into a position. And you know what? In that transformation, okay, I can't fully evolve if I'm shrinking, if I'm staying in that chrysalis stage, if I stay there and I don't move it out of that position. And so I made that move. I came to Verve and it exceeded my expectations. And
Thank
it made me step out of my comfort zone. And then I walked away with so many power tools where I said, I'm not going to play it small. And I knew, I want to author a book. And you know what did I do this year? I co-authored a book and
you
it
did.
became a bestseller. Linus Volume 2, Prayers and Affirmations for Women Leaders. I didn't know that was going to happen. But again, that vision, I saw it. I knew I wanted to do it. But then I had to tell myself, tell my brain, what did you say, Suzanne? Tell your brain.
Yep.
And I said, I will not play small. I started speaking that affirmation. I started doing it. And then it started coming to me. The
Yep.
traction came. Now, when it came, was I afraid? Was I thinking, oh no, I don't know if I'm ready for this, right? But I got moving. I
That's
picked
right.
the pen up. I started making the notes. I started writing. So when you're talking about that, when you're talking about creative solutions to the process of transformation, those two things that you said, I did that. And then in the next part of it, taking a move and coming to Verve Conference, I made a transformation. So I'm saying that to talk about Verve because I said we were going that one last word when I talked about her, how she likes to capture a vision full of joy and verve. And you know what? She manifested that to life for you, for us, that you can transform your life and your business. So maybe you're one saying, well, you know what? I don't have the business yet. Well, you need to be in the room. Or maybe you do have a business and you need to go to a different level. You need to be in the room. And I'm not saying this for advertising. I'm saying it from my heart, truly from my heart, because it did help me transform. So I'm gonna give, I just said all my parts. See, I'm just doing my own testimonial here.
So tell
But
your story.
I want Suzanne to talk about it because it means something to her. Verve means something to her. That's why she brought it forth. So I wanted her to speak from her heart, from her words, what that means and how that really applies to transforming your life and your business.
Well, I thank you for this opportunity because Verve was a dream of mine. And I'll tell you, this is the fourth year of Verve. I think it's the fourth. I hope it's not the fifth. And I missed like capitalizing on that. So I am a speaker by trade. And so I was in a lot of spaces with a lot of really magnificent people. But it was either all motivation. So you'd go and you get filled up and you go home and like, well, that was great, but now I can't do anything. Right. I feel good, but I don't know what action to take next. But boy, I feel good. Or I'd be like in these workshops or these conferences where it's just this a massive information. And I go home and there's so much that now I'm overwhelmed and I don't know where to start next. And there wasn't a way for me to be meeting women, especially in the room, to say, what do you need? And me thinking, and what do I need? And how can we start supporting and serving each other, not from a place of competition, but in a place of collaboration? And so I had this idea. And several years ago, I was like, let's do a 1 day conference called Verve, which is all about mojo making and pizzazz and energy and zeal and moving it forward. And let's see what happens in the room. And the first conference had 19 people at it. I was hoping for like 100, and there was 19. And so right there, I could have stayed stuck and said, this didn't work. But all 19 people said this was one of the most meaningful days they'd ever had. So did it again. And then COVID showed up. So I moved it to virtual and it was great. And then this last year, I decided let's take a big leap and move it forward into 3 days because the feedback was this is good, but it needs to be longer. There's so much goodness, but I want to spend more time with women. So this will be our second year to do a 3 day conference, which really Verve is about capturing a stunning vision that chases you, and then you grab. So this could be for your life, your business, or both. And then working through that vision with intention, with wonder, with support, with collaboration. So Verve just isn't the talking head me on the stage. There's a lot of women. Coach G is going to be there and speaking as well. And what we do in the room, though, it's all about creative support. So you're in the room and you're meeting people. In fact, I'm going to make sure that you meet women that supporting your biggest goals, because you have to tell me what those are when you register. And so it's not just that life is this just three-ring circus, right? When you come to Verve, even if you're in that chaos swirling moment, right, you're going to get resources, tools, and people in the room immediately to help you step into this life and business that you've always wanted. And I think that's what really sets Verve apart in this kind of sphere, is that it's really alignment work from your life to your business and making them all work together for your good.
Yes, yes. And you know what? And I just remember last year when you saying you are the CEO of your life.
Yes.
And, it's like, yes, that is what that is, whether it's life to business, life, okay, I'm not in business, or life, my career, but just
Right.
being the CEO of. And when she said connecting, oh man, I still know and connect and collaborate with women from Verve. So it truly is a transformational process when you walk in the room, whether you're stepping out your comfort zone or not. But I promise you, she gonna get you out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Yes.
You're gonna get moving, you're gonna dance, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna love, you're gonna cry. You probably shed some tears because I believe I did. Yeah, I did. Because it was just some breakthrough moments, those aha moments. And I walked away with those aha moments. So, whether you're listening to this and you're saying, oh, okay, well, Verve is coming up. It's at October 20th to 22nd.
That's right.
But maybe, because this is a recording, you're listening to it after the fact. You know what? Look for it next year. I'm just saying, I don't know what time you're listening to this, so don't ever just count it out, but just always connect and see how you can continue to stay connected with Suzanne and as she move into and grow into Verve. You heard her say it went from 19 people one day to virtual, and she could have stopped there and got stuck, but she didn't. And then it came back as 3 days. Did you hear that? And I started at the 3-day one, and then okay, I get to do it again. So I'm excited
Right.
about that.
I'm
So
excited.
thank you, Suzanne. We're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up with this. We're gonna wrap up with, because we always end with a PMS tip. So I want you to give us one PMS tip to share with our listeners as something that they can implement to experience their own radical transformation. You've already said a lot, but I know, you have so much that you can give us, and we're just so grateful for it. So give us that one tip.
Well, so this might be a little different. So all the tips I've already given you are really how to hack your brain to support you. I want to do something a little different, which
Okay.
is I think you have to dress to show up for the life that you want. And
Mhm.
so, for example, if you want to be a renowned yoga instructor, then every day you need to be walking into the world in that fabulous yoga instructor mindset and look. If you want to be a teacher, what kind of teacher are you going to be? And you show up. So I'm talking about going to Costco in like your costume of who you want to be in the world, because here's what will happen: you will start showing up and talking differently. Your confidence will shift and change. The way you carry yourself physically will change when you have your costume on of who you're emerging into, going back to that butterfly, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to put on your butterfly rings. And so if there's one thing you take from this podcast, and Coach G does this on every single thing that she does, so be paying attention, right? Is think about your own personal style and what that means and communicates out on who you're becoming, and go to the becoming space and start dressing in that space, start showing up in that space. Maybe leave the flip-flops behind and put on the stilettos if that's what it means for you, even though nobody might see them, because you will sit and act and speak differently.
Yes, yes, yes. Wear your costume. I love the style boy because that's the last part of PMS. So you're
Yes,
on it. Show up the way you want to be, who you are. Show up as that, hey, I'm top model. I don't know, whatever that
right.
is, but show up that way. And so I love that. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for giving us, such great nuggets, shifting perspectives. I love for our thoughts to change and our perspectives to change. And so, thank you so much for just capturing this moment with me, with our listeners. And you know what? If you want more of the sparkle in your life, that part to just help you shift, connect with Suzanne. And so you can go to her website, suzannecastle.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it. Okay,
Oh,
she's
listen.
there. She is there. And you know what? It's in the show description. You can connect with her, learn more about her, get some sparkle in your life. And you know what? We would love to see you at Verve because it's more than just, business as usual. It's relationships. It's meaningful relationships. And so I thank you so much, Suzanne. Is there anything you want to say to close us out? And of course, I do that last closing to say, okay, we'll see you next time. But anything you want to say to
Well,
us?
I just want to express gratitude to you because you are showing up in the way that you are embodying what you are preaching and talking and living. And it is a true remarkable gift in the world, Demetrius. And so you honor me by allowing me to share some space with you today and the way that you are helping manifest that for other women. So I just want to express my gratitude to you.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. This is not a moment I'm gonna get teary-eyed and stuff, but my heart is fluttering. So thank you so much. It's always such greatness in being in your presence and us being together. I'm just so grateful for our collaboration and our connection in so many platforms. And you know what? I need to add this part, and we are closing out. You've heard her name before. You may go back and listen to some podcasts because I've had some people been connected with International Association of Women to say, and they would talk about Suzanne. So this is the Suzanne that you've heard. Her name, I think it's been said probably a couple of times on other episodes. And here she is. Now you see the face to the name. You was like, Suzanne Castle. So here she is. So thank you so much, Suzanne. You know what? If you're looking to continue to grow, that's what we're here for. Both as leaders, as strategists, as coaches, whatever you need to do in shifting. And you know what? Go to the website, SuzanneCastle.com. Go to my website, gstylecoaching.com. Connect with both of us. Well, you already connected with me, but connect with Suzanne. And then let's continue to grow and continue to expand the pie. And so, in the meantime, I want you to continue to share with other sisters. Continue to comment, subscribe, rate, follow. And in saying all of that, until next time, sisters, let's keep growing because it all starts with you.